Welcome to Movies Philosophy Channel. In this episode, we dive into Million Dollar Baby, 2004, directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Hilary Swank, Clint Eastwood, and Morgan Freeman. This emotional and hard-hitting sports drama tells the story of Maggie Fitzgerald, an underdog boxer who rises to prominence under the mentorship of Frankie Dunn. As much about the bond between coach and fighter as it is about boxing, Million Dollar Baby explores themes of perseverance, loyalty, and the human condition, ultimately delivering a heartbreaking and unforgettable story. Let's break down the key moments, emotional depth, and powerful themes of this Academy Award-winning film. Million Dollar Baby begins by introducing Frankie Dunn, played by Clint Eastwood, a grizzled and world-weary boxing trainer who runs a modest gym in Los Angeles. Frankie has a long and successful career as a trainer, but he is haunted by past mistakes, including the estrangement from his daughter, which weighs heavily on him. Frankie's closest friend is Eddie Scrap Iron Dupree, played by Morgan Freeman, a former boxer and the gym's caretaker. Scrap lost an eye in the ring years earlier, a tragic event that still lingers in Frankie's mind. Frankie is a cautious man, both in life and in the ring. He's known for holding back his fighters, always being overly protective and hesitant to push them toward title fights. He's particularly conflicted about his relationship with his current fighter, Big Willie, whom he refuses to advance to championship-level bouts for fear of losing him. Willie, frustrated with Frankie's caution, eventually leaves him for another manager. The determined underdog, Maggie Fitzgerald, played by Hilary Swank, enters the story as a determined but inexperienced 31-year-old woman from Missouri who dreams of becoming a professional boxer. Coming from a poor background, Maggie has had to fight for everything in her life. She works as a waitress and scrapes together enough money to join Frankie's gym, hoping to convince him to train her. Initially, Frankie dismisses Maggie, believing that she is too old to begin a boxing career and that women don't belong in the ring. However, Maggie is relentless in her pursuit, continuing to train at the gym on her own. She impresses Scrap with her determination and resilience, and he begins to support her efforts, encouraging Frankie to give her a chance. Frankie's reluctant agreement and Maggie's rise. Frankie eventually agrees to train Maggie, though reluctantly, and the two form an unlikely partnership. Despite his initial reservations, Frankie begins to see Maggie's potential. She possesses a natural talent for boxing and an unmatched drive to succeed. Over time, Frankie becomes more invested in her career, helping her develop into a formidable fighter. Maggie's dedication and hard work pay off as she starts winning fights with knockout after knockout, rapidly rising through the ranks. Frankie, who had initially seen her as a hopeless case, begins to believe in her, not just as a fighter, but as a person deserving of respect and opportunity. The bond between Maggie and Frankie grows deeper, resembling a father-daughter relationship that fills the emotional void left by Frankie's estrangement from his own daughter. The turning point, title shot in Las Vegas. Maggie's success in the ring eventually leads to a title shot in Las Vegas against Billy the Blue Bear, played by Lucia Riker, a ruthless and dirty fighter who uses underhanded tactics in her matches. This fight represents the pinnacle of Maggie's career, a chance to prove herself as one of the best in the sport. As the fight begins, Maggie holds her own against the much stronger Billy, delivering powerful blows and demonstrating her incredible skill. However, in a devastating and unexpected moment, Billy sucker punches Maggie from behind after the bell rings, causing her to fall headfirst into a stool in her corner. The impact leaves Maggie severely injured, and she is rushed to the hospital, where it is revealed that she has broken her neck and is now a quadriplegic, permanently paralyzed from the neck down. Maggie's Paralysis and Frankie's Guilt. The film takes a heartbreaking turn as Maggie's once promising boxing career is cut short by the tragic injury. She is confined to a hospital bed, dependent on a ventilator to breathe, and unable to move her body. The vibrant and determined fighter who once lit up the ring is now trapped in a helpless state. Maggie's physical and emotional suffering is profound, and she struggles to come to terms with her new reality. Frankie is consumed with guilt, blaming himself for what happened to Maggie. He feels responsible for allowing her to take the fight and for not protecting her. much like he felt responsible for Scrap's injury years earlier. Despite this, Frankie remains by Maggie's side, visiting her daily and doing everything he can to provide comfort and support. Maggie's Request euthanasia. As time passes, Maggie's condition worsens. Her body develops bed sores, and she begins to lose hope of ever regaining any quality of life. Despairing over her future, Maggie makes a heartbreaking request. She asks Frankie to help her die. She believes that her life has lost all meaning, and that living in a state of total dependence and immobility is not truly living. For Maggie, the only thing that ever gave her life purpose was boxing, and without it, she feels she has nothing left. Frankie is torn by Maggie's request. His love for her and his sense of responsibility make it impossible for him to consider letting her go, but he also understands the depth of her suffering. Maggie's family, who had never supported her boxing career and only show interest in her now that she has become famous, are of no help to her emotional needs. They are cold and unsupportive, reinforcing Maggie's isolation. The heartbreaking decision. After much inner turmoil, Frankie makes the difficult decision to honor Maggie's request. In one of the most emotional scenes in the film, Frankie returns to the hospital late at night. He disconnects Maggie's ventilator and administers a fatal dose of adrenaline, ending her life peacefully. Before she dies, Frankie whispers the Gaelic phrase "Mo Quishle" into her ear, which he had used as her nickname throughout her boxing career. He tells her that it means "my darling, my blood." Maggie passes away, knowing that she was loved and respected. Frankie, devastated by Maggie's death, disappears from the boxing world and retreats into isolation, haunted by the loss of the person who had become like a daughter to him. The film ends on a note of quiet reflection, as Scrap narrates the story of Maggie and Frankie's bond, leaving the audience to grapple with the moral complexities of Frankie's decision and the themes of life, death, and dignity. Themes: perseverance, dignity, and the complexity of love. $1 Million Baby is a film that explores profound themes of perseverance, dignity, and the complexity of love. At its core, the film is about the bond between Maggie and Frankie, two people from different worlds who find strength and purpose in each other. Maggie's rise as a boxer is a testament to her determination and resilience, while Frankie's journey is one of redemption and responsibility. The film also grapples with the moral and ethical questions surrounding euthanasia, asking whether it is ever right to help someone end their suffering. Frankie's decision to assist Maggie in her death is portrayed with deep emotional complexity, leaving viewers to wrestle with the heartbreaking nature of the choice. Ultimately, $1 Million Baby is a meditation on the fragility of life and the difficult choices we face when confronted with pain, loss, and the desire for dignity. Closing thought. $1 Million Baby 2004 is a raw and powerful film that transcends the typical sports drama, delivering a story of love, loss, and moral complexity. With unforgettable performances by Hilary Swank, Clint Eastwood, and Morgan Freeman, the film explores the human spirit's capacity for resilience and the deep emotional connections that shape our lives. $1 Million Baby is not just a story about boxing. It's a story about finding meaning, making impossible choices, and the enduring bonds that define us.